Every single day, we're faced with choices that kind of define our journey. It's usually not the huge, life-changing stuff, right? It's the little forks in the road, the ones that seem like no big deal at the time. Well, today, we're going to dive into two stories about two very different roadside stops that honestly reveal pretty much everything about the paths we end up on.
So, here's the question. The easy shortcut or the long right way? I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? Do you take that tempting little detour, or do you stick with the route you know is safe, even if it takes a bit longer? It's such a classic dilemma, and man, the answer can lead you to some very different places.
Okay, so let's start with Act 1, the warning on the wrong path. This first story is all about what happens when impatience just wins. It's about a choice made in a moment of total frustration, and believe me, it leads to a night that no one involved would ever forget.
All right, so let me introduce you to the family. We've got Aman, his wife Sapna, and their two kids, Pia and Raj. Picture this. They're on a family road trip, the highway just keeps stretching on forever, and you can just hear the kids in the back getting restless. And you know how it is. Against his better judgment, totally tired of hearing, "Are we there yet?" Aman finally gives in. He sees a sign for a shortcut, and he takes it.
And at first, it feels like a brilliant idea, like he's just outsmarted everyone else on the road. But then, well, things start to change. The smooth pavement turns into this bumpy dirt track, and suddenly they're surrounded by a dark, creepy, silent forest. And just as that first real sense of fear starts to creep in, you guessed it, the car breaks down. They are completely, totally stranded.
So just when you think it can't get any worse, when all hope is pretty much gone, they see it, a single, flickering light way off in the distance. It turns out to be this little roadside eatery, a dhaba. And you can just imagine the relief, right? This wave of it just washes over them as they walk towards what seems like a total sanctuary, run by an old man named Ramu. But that feeling of relief? Yeah, it doesn't last long. Ramu greets them, but what he says is chilling. He just looks at them and says, "You made a mistake. You shouldn't have come here at night." He even starts to say that years ago, he took a shortcut with his family, but then he just stops. He never finishes the story. And that is the first massive red flag that something is very wrong here. So Ramu serves them this delicious, piping hot meal. For a second, things feel normal, but then that comfort is just shattered. Sapna, the mom, she notices something impossible. The stove he supposedly cooked the food on, it's completely cold. I mean, no fire, no glowing embers, absolutely nothing. How is that possible? Later on, Ramu lets them stay in this small guest house he has. And it's there, while Aman is trying to comfort his terrified son, that it all hits him. He has this huge moment of clarity. He looks at his kids and says, "I thought a shortcut meant being smart, but I now understand that being safe is smart." Wow, that's a powerful lesson, and man, what a terrifying way to have to learn it. So the next morning, the sun is out, and the forest that seemed so menacing now just looks beautiful. The family walks back to where the dhaba was, ready to thank Ramu and get some help. But there's nothing there. Not a single thing. No building, no guest house, no old man. The entire place has just vanished.
And if that wasn't strange enough, a calm, heavy voice seems to echo from the sky itself, and it says, "I couldn't be saved, but you were saved." And it all clicks. Ramu wasn't just an old man. He was a spirit, forever stuck on that road, a ghostly warning for anyone else foolish enough to make the same mistake he once did.
Okay, wow, so let's take a deep breath and shift gears. Completely. We are leaving that haunted shortcut way behind us. Now, for Act 2, we're going to explore a totally different kind of journey. This one's all about perseverance, about integrity, and about the, unexpected rewards you can find when you choose the hard path, the right path. So let me introduce you to Manish. He's this really kind, hardworking guy who runs his own small dhaba, and the food is great, but his business is really struggling. His dhaba is just a simple, temporary kind of structure, so when the rainy season comes, it hits him hard. It drives away all his customers and really threatens his entire livelihood. And just when you think it can't get worse, it does. A huge storm rolls in and just completely wipes out his dhaba. Gone. So now he's desperate, right? He goes to his own brother-in-law, a guy named Madhav, and asks for work. Madhav promises to pay him at the end of the month, so Manish just puts his head down and works tirelessly, doing really hard manual labor. But this is where he faces just the ultimate betrayal. The month is finally over. Manish goes to ask for the wages he earned, and his brother-in-law just laughs at him. He says, "I was helping you, and you don't pay for help." Can you imagine? He claims it was all just family help and that he owes him nothing. It's just a devastating, cruel blow, taking total advantage of Manish's kindness and desperation. So Manish is broken, but he is not defeated. He manages to find a new job as a driver, and one evening he's on his way home, and he sees a young boy injured on the side of the road after an accident. Now, you know how it is. A lot of people would probably just drive right past, afraid to get involved. But not Manish. He doesn't even hesitate. He stops, rushes the boy to a doctor, and makes sure he gets the care he needs. Well, it turns out the boy was the son of a very wealthy landowner. And the father, he's so incredibly grateful, so moved by Manisha's selfless act, that he gives him a reward. And it's not a small one. It's a staggering 5 lakh rupees, $500,000. Just wow. That one single act of kindness changes absolutely everything for him. And this right here, this is the payoff for his integrity, for staying on the right path.
Manish uses that money to build a proper, permanent dhaba right on the main road, and his business just thrives. It's immune to the rain now, and he finally achieves that stable, happy life that he and his family deserved all along.
All right, so let's bring it all together. 2 stories, 2 completely different roadside dhabas. One of them just appears in the darkness when you make a wrong turn. The other is built brick by brick in the light of a right action. Let's break down what these 2 places really mean. Okay, look at this. On one side, you've got Ramu's dhaba. It's basically a supernatural warning sign, right? The consequence of taking that impatient, easy shortcut. It's a place of fear, but also of realization. Then on the other side, you have Manish's dhaba. It's a real, tangible reward. It's the result of perseverance, of integrity, of doing the right thing even when it's hard. It's a place of success and genuine joy.
You know, thinking back on that first story, it makes you wonder about that ghostly dhaba. And it brings up a really fascinating idea. What if the warning signs in our lives, even the really scary ones, what if they aren't there to actually hurt us? Maybe they're there to save us, to get us to turn around and get back on the right path.
And really, that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. The next time you face that choice, that fork in the road, the easy shortcut versus the long, right way, what kind of dhaba are you looking for? Are you looking for a warning, or are you looking for a reward? Are you hoping for a place that forces you to learn a lesson the hard way, or one that's been earned through your own hard work and character? Because at the end of the day, that choice, it's always yours.